There are always cozy things you could do in World of Warcraft, but now, in the year 2026, World of Warcraft, a game with war in the title, is finally truly a cozy game. And even more is coming, let me explain. Players have always found ways to make WoW a cozy game. I remember being very bad at the game in vanilla, arguably I still am, and I literally only wanted to visit Great Father Winter because someone in my guild told me he had presents under the Christmas tree. I did not know at the time that there was an underground tram from Stormwind to Ironforge. So my mom and I set out on an epic Lord of the Rings style journey through Redridge because based on the Warcraft atlas I had, I thought we could walk through burning steppes. And I was wrong. The point is that for a lot of WoW's lifetime, there were cozy activities players could do, like fishing, professions, and later even transmog. But the main focus of WoW has mostly been on challenging group content. Solo or casual players had to build their own fun for a long time. Blizzard has made the game more and more friendly for casual players over the years, like by making it easier to catch up on after not playing for a while, making solo content easier, and by giving solo players endgame content with the introduction of delves. And while that's all nice, it's still very focused on the Warcraft part of the game. When is Blizzard making content for the world players? The players that just want to log in, spend some time in their favorite online world, and then log off again. When is Blizzard adding something for them to sink hours and hours and precious money into? In early December, after 21 years of asking, WoW players got player housing. And not just any player housing, but more freedom to place objects than I've thought was possible in a Blizzard game. I mean, you have full freedom to scale or place objects in any way you want. And when developers saw people lift their house by grabbing the invisible Y-axis arrow, they just allowed it. A fresh new approach for Blizzard devs who are usually known for their fun detected, kill it approach. They only told players that, cover up the bottom because we didn't model that part. Because we didn't think you were going to lift your house in the air, but now that you've done that, fine. It's not a game-breaking thing. There were things you could do in WoW before housing that made it cozy or casual friendly. Mist of Pandaria even had its own farm players could use. But recently it seems more than ever Blizzard is actually making space for casual players to have a reason to come back to the game beyond just collecting mounts or pets or playing dress up. If you're the kind of player who doesn't care about the competitive side of WoW, a lot of your playtime was probably farming old content, making in-game gold, and expressing your creativity by giving your character a cool transmog. I like to dabble in doing some harder content, but I'm mostly a casual player because I just like the vibe of being in the world. While there's basically nothing left for me to explore, I like having a reason to come back and go into the world of Warcraft, go into Azeroth. WoW has always been a cozy game in the sense that the aesthetics aren't like a typical fantasy game. It's mostly bright and saturated colors, and even the darkest and most evil areas of the world is still not overly gritty. It has some comfort to it. Especially when you wander into Grizzly Hills and hear that music kick in. The teaser for housing includes a look into the future of neighborhoods. Right now, there's nothing going on in neighborhoods that releases with Midnight in March. The only thing you can do is make your own house look cool and try to visit other people's houses. But when Midnight releases, neighborhoods will get activities, things to work towards, and if the housing teaser is to be believed, the option to marry other players. Now, all of this isn't new if you compare to other MMOs that have had housing for a while, but it's a new chapter in World of Warcraft's history becoming more and more friendly to casual players. Okay, you don't want to do dungeons or raids in organized groups? Well, now you can do delves, small solo adventures to still get some competitive endgame loot. You want to decorate a home in your favorite virtual world? Well, now you finally can. My favorite part of housing, and what makes it maybe the coziest new thing to me, is that if you want to make items to put into your house or sell to other players on the auction house, you have to go out into the world and collect lumber. This is a part of the solution to make the old world relevant again. To, for a lack of a better word, force people to go back into the world. I wish they added even more housing items to the old world because I want a reason to revisit these zones I haven't been in for years. This might be a personal problem, but I used to be obsessed with being efficient and optimal while playing this game. So I hardly would do things just because I enjoyed them, or because they seemed fun. I, for instance, enjoy farming items for gold, but I'd get so sidetracked finding the optimal farm for time invested that I would give up before I even started. In fact, I find myself looking for other ways to make gold efficiently, which seem way less fun to me, like flipping items on the auction house. Every casual or cozy addition to WoW, and especially housing, has reinforced the idea that time spent in the game doesn't always have to lead to some end goal. Character doesn't need to be stronger every day. I don't need to know upfront if this is going to be the most optimal way to spend my time. It's a game. Housing, like transmog, does not make your character stronger. There is no objective gameplay efficiency reason to do it. It's not mandatory at all. It's just something you do for fun. It's something you get to put your own creativity in, and mostly to show your friend how many fruit platters you can fit into your house. Housing has made WoW cozier because it allows you to lean into the cozy aspects that the game already had. The cute, colorful aesthetics, nice music, the focus on collecting, the ability to explore, and the freedom of self-expression. Finally, there's endgame for players that like being in Azeroth as like an innkeeper rather than an epic hero. Finally, you actually have a place to stay in Azeroth, you know, instead of hanging around in the middle of Dornegal. Finally, there's a reason to go back to the old world, if only to collect lumber and leathers to make these rugs that someone will want in their undead den. And it's been a lot of fun to see people sharing the houses that they've made and see other people react to it. I'm gonna go back to put more stuff in my house, so thanks for watching.